It's time to finally talk about Fairy Tail on this channel, and this verse is unironically one of the strongest we've discussed so far. For starters, we have the cosmology of the verse. Fairy Tail has an infinite number of universes, and each universe is said to be infinite. There are infinite parallel dimensions and infinite timelines. In fact, the cosmology of the verse is so vast that it even encompasses all of the other verses that Hiro Mashima has worked on, including Rave Master and Eden Zero. As for the power of the verse, we have characters like Mother from Eden Zero, who literally dwarfs star clusters, who literally dwarfs clusters of solar systems. This alone, due to the sheer size on its own, would place her at multi-solar system level. The verse actually gets even more insane because we have the fairy tale, the main series that we'll talk about. For starters, we have Zeref, who was going to destroy the whole world and start it all over again. And he's referring to the whole universe, not just the planet, considering the fact that he's saying that he will restart everything and even time itself. If that's not enough, we also have the fact that Natsu was able to burn through time itself as well, which means that he has four-dimensional power. There is also the fact that even halfway through the series, the characters can be scaled to Multiversal Plus, given the fact that Tier is stated to be capable of creating an infinite number of timelines, shrinking them, and using them to attack her enemies. In fact, she does that against Natsu, and Natsu in his base form was able to tank being hit by multiple timelines. He is literally being hit by compressed parallel universes to the face, and he is taking it like it's almost nothing. And I want you to keep in mind that this is a base from Natsu during chapter 225. For context, there are over 700 fairy tale chapters so far, and in each arc Natsu gets significantly and exponentially stronger. This version of Natsu that could eat parallel universes, heavily compressed, immensely compressed parallel universes being thrown to his face, is literally at best a mid-tier in his own verse. And this really puts into perspective just how powerful these characters actually are, placing even the mid-tiers at multiverse level. And the fact that tier can create an infinite number of parallel universes in a finite amount of time makes her multiversal plus, especially when each individual universe is already infinite on its own regard. And tier in her own regard is at best a mid-tier in her own verse as well, especially in that arc when she was weaker. So yeah, even people like Wusi and Wendy are easily multiversal plus scaling from tier and Natsu. And yes, this may sound insane, but the verse is actually insanely powerful. It's not to be underestimated whatsoever. Unlike other verses, Fairy Tail has direct and verbatim, clear-cut statements to support its tier, no matter how ridiculous it may sound. And even if we were to heavily downplay Fairy Tail, it still has enough feats to be put above most of the other shonen anime. For example, Celine was able to enlarge the moon to a point where it was comparable to a large planet. That moon literally dwarfs our Earth, which means that this is easily a planet level feat, if not a large planet level feat. We have Blue Note being capable of creating an actual black hole that works like a real black hole, but of course with a bit of restrictions, and Gildarts was able to overpower it. And keep in mind that a black hole the size of a coin would have the mass of the Earth, and this black hole is way larger than that. Now, of course, black hole attacks are not always taken seriously because they could work nothing like a real black hole, they could have nowhere near the mass of a real black hole, and they could simply be way weaker. But unfortunately, Fairy Tail has shown way more than enough proof that it's that strong, so it would make sense for this to be as strong as a real black hole. Of course, there are restrictions, the guy is using magic to not destroy everything, but even so, it would still have that same black hole level attack potency. We have Irene's meteor, which is so fast that it literally traveled planetary distances, in fact way larger than planetary distances, in the span of a few seconds, which would give it immense kinetic energy, and Erza was able to counter that. I mean, the explosion was so powerful that it could even be seen from outer space, and it was comparable to a portion of the planet itself. We also have Irene's Universe 1, which is capable of reconstructing the entire planet. As for its speed, the verse is actually a bit more tame. Like, we have Natsu being able to blitz and dodge Sting's attacks, which are literally made out of light. And we do have Haku being stated to be light speed. No, not that one. But other than that, the verse doesn't really have that much. Now, we could make the argument that Tier is infinite in speed because she can generate an infinite number of timelines in a finite amount of time. And we could argue that Zeref has infinite speed because he can literally destroy an infinite universe in a finite amount of time as well. But at the same time, I'm not personally a subscriber to that because they wouldn't be hyping light speed for Haku if the characters are truly infinite speed. Make no mistake, that doesn't mean that they are slow because even Wendy in her base form was able to easily outrun the light speed attacks. And 20 has many other forms with many multiplayers, and on top of that there are a lot of stronger and much faster characters, so the verse could easily be faster than Light Plus, if not massively faster than Light. So this is it for this video. If you liked it, you can of course like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content. See you in the next one.